Hello and welcome to Chapter 2, Section 1. So we finished Chapter 1. We're on to bigger and better concepts as we apply the things we've already learned and look forward to learning some new concepts. So we talked about algebraic expressions in the past. Now we're going to work on translating sentences into equations. So we did a little bit of that with expressions, but now we're talking about bigger equations. So there's more variables, more numbers, more things to deal with. We can turn the words into equations and the equations into words. So we'll practice some of that, and we'll do some simple, and we'll build to some more complex problems. So some vocab to think about. We've got just the word formula, and we'll apply that in some problems as we move forward. So our first example asks us to translate this sentence into an equation. So what you need to write is the sentence here for your notes. So we know a number b, that's our variable, divided, that's our operation, by 3 is, that tells us is equal sign, is equal to 6 less than c. So less than is going to imply subtraction. C is another variable, 6 is just a number. So if we break all that down, that sentence gives us an equation. So a number b divided by 3 is just b divided by 3 is equal to, there will be an equal sign. 6 less than c is going to give us another term over here. So if we think about that, we'll get the following terms. B divided by 3 as a fraction equals 6 less than c. So normally when we have subtraction, it'll be the first thing minus the second thing, unless it says less than. Less than is going to have the order switched, right? If I think 1 less than 10, well, 1 less than 10 would be 10 minus 1. 6 less than c is c minus 6. So in this case, we have b divided by 3 equals c minus 6. That's that sentence translated into an equation. So if you've got the question down, our final answer, the equation should be b divided by 3 equal to c minus 6. Done. Very simple if you remember the code operation words like divided, equals, less than, you'll be okay. So 1b, given this sentence, we want to make an equation out of 15 more than z times 6 is y times 2 minus 11. So we can break down what's happening here and write our terms that are given. So right away I know is going to mean equals. So we have two sides of our equation. Is going to mean equals. That's the middle of our equation there. On the left, we see 15 more than. So more than means add. And with addition, we don't have to worry about the order. So 15 more than. So 15 more than z times 6. So times means multiply. Z times 6 will just be 6z. Right? Remember that if our coefficient is next to our variable, that implies multiplication, so we can just leave it like that. So 15 more than z times 6, or 6z, is equals y times 2 minus 11. So y times 2 is 2y. Now it is y times 2. We could write it as y dot 2, but we don't write our variables and our coefficients that way. We always write the number first and then the variable. So y times 2 is just 2y. And minus tells us we need to subtract. That's the operation given by minus. And 11 is just a number. So given all that information, we can translate it into our equation, which is here. 15 plus 6z equals 2y minus 11. and we can double check that. Our answer, 15 plus 6z, is equal to 2y minus 11. So there we have it. Taking that whole sentence, we can make it into an equation just by breaking down the operations, including the numbers they give us, and taking it step by step. We can always get the right solution. So there's 1b. 1c, we have multiple choice options here. Given this sentence, we want to translate. So a number c multiplied by 6. So I know a number c multiplied by 6 is just 6c. Multiplied by 6, that's here. Is means equals. Is equal to 2 more than d. So 2 more than d would just be d plus 2. More than just means add 2 and d. So you could write d plus 2 or 2 plus d. They mean the same thing. So for this one, we have 6c equals d plus 2. If we look at our options, c is out, d is out, b is out. The only solution that is on par is A. That's our expression when translated from a sentence into an equation. So for this one, we should all have letter choice A. Letter choice A. Now 1D asks us to translate this sentence. We've got 3 less than a number, A. So 3 less than a number A is going to be less than, we know subtraction. 3 less than a number A, if we think about 1 less than 10, well 1 less than 10 is 9, so it's 10 minus 1. So 3 less than a number A is A minus 3. So we should have A minus 3. A minus 3 divided by 4. So all of this divided by 4 is means equals 7 more than, so 7 more than, so we're going to add 7. 7 more than 3 times b, and 3 times b, we would just write that coefficient in our variable. That's just 3b, 3 times b. So this should be our whole expression here. Notice that when it said divided by, I divided by everything that came before it. 3 less than a number A is all divided by 4. So what looks like this whole thing here? Well, B has no fraction, so that's wrong. C does not include the 3 in the divisor, so we know that's out. D does not include 3 in the divisor. Only A has the correct setup. So this is our solution for letter choice, or example 1D today. It looks like our example is giving us the wrong solution here. 3 less than a number A divided by 4 is letter choice A. So my red circle is incorrect on that one. Our answer choice is, in fact, A. So we'll make sure we have that down. So moving on to example choice, or example 2A today. You're going to need to write these couple sentences. It's just 2 sentences. Very short. So for 2A, we see a jelly bean manufacturer produces 1.25 million jelly beans per hour. We want to know how many hours does it take them to produce 10 million jelly beans. So this 10 million is our total. This 1.25 million is per hour. Our total divided by the number per hour will tell us the total number of hours that it takes to make 10 million. So if we break that down, we understand how many we make an hour, 1.25 million. We want to know how many hours it will take to make 10 million. We can write an equation and let H represent the number of hours needed to produce the jelly beans. So 1.25 million times some number of hours would equal the total 10 million. If we make that an equation, we have that 1.25 million times HR hours would equal 10 million. If we simplify, we could then write our equation a little bit easier. And if we divide away what's on the left, we would get H equals 8. So it would take 8 hours to produce 10 million jelly beans if you're making a little more than 1 million per hour. And that makes sense, right? So if you're making a little more than 1 million per hour, you want to get to 10 million, it would take you about 8 hours. Done. That's all you have to do for that problem. 2B, we see another short word problem. We need to make some sense of it. So a person at Keytronic World Invitational, type off, can type 148 words per minute. So I'm going to circle what's important. (148) words per minute. How many minutes would it take to type a total of 3,552 words? So this is our total. This is our amount per minute. So the total divided by the smaller amount per minute. So I'll just put per minute, per min. The total divided by the per minute value will give us the total number of minutes that it would take. In other words, 3,552 is our total. And if we divide by 148 words per minute, this solution will tell us how many minutes it would take to get to this whole total here. So if we divide this 3,000 number by 148, what would we get? Well, we would find that it comes out to be 24 minutes. So it would take you 24 minutes to get to a little more than 3,000 words. If you want to double check that, you can do 24 times 148 and make sure you get this 3,000 number, which you would. So for 2B, it is 24 minutes. Just one step. So 3A, now we're into problems where they ask us to write a formula. So given this sentence, we want to make a formula. We're given the perimeter of a square equals 4 times the length of a side. So we take those words, we need to make sense of it. So we can let P equal the perimeter. We can let S equal the length of a side. So those are two variables that are involved in this problem, the perimeter and the side length. It's always easy to pick a variable that is close to whatever word you're looking at. So P for perimeter, S for side. They tell us the perimeter equals 4 times the length of a side. In other words, P equals 4 times S, the length of the side. P equals 4S. So we translated the sentence into a formula, and that is all they asked us to do. So notice there are not any numbers involved in this problem other than the 4 times S. We don't have to do any computations. We just need to translate our information from words into an equation with our variables. That's all we have to do here. Can you understand the information? Can you change it into a different format? So for 3A, P equals 4S is our solution. So if you can understand formulas, you can understand how to write those equations, take words and make them into equations, and take equations and make them into sentences. You will be okay with this section going forward. Good luck, and let's be on task.